What if I told you there's a neighborhood on the Gold Coast of Cape Coral where every single canal offers complete direct golf access with zero bridges? Travel times as short as 3 minutes to open water, and you are minutes from downtown Cape Coral, Fort Myers Beach, and the airport all in one neighborhood. In my opinion, Palaco Grande is the single most convenient boating neighborhood in all of Cape Coral, and most buyers have never even heard of it. Now in this video, I'm going to take you on a complete map tour of the Palaco Grande neighborhood in southeast Cape Coral. We're going to cover exact boat travel times to open water from every single canal in the neighborhood, why zero bridges means zero restrictions on what boat you can dock in your backyard, flood zones throughout the area, including where you can find X500 properties on direct golf access canals, and why this neighborhood is quietly becoming one of the most sought after addresses on the Gold Coast. I'm Barry Cessna, your Cape Coral Golf Access Realtor. And if you're thinking about buying, selling, relocating, or retiring here in Cape Coral, click the link in the description and schedule your complimentary video strategy call with me. Many others have already done this. After watching my videos, they made the call. Now this could be the first step toward making your Cape Coral home a dream, a reality. This is the information you won't find anywhere else. Let's get into it. Hey guys, welcome in. I'm Barry Cessna, your Golf Access Realtor here in the beautiful city of Cape Coral. And today we're going to explore one of my favorite neighborhoods, the Palaco Grande neighborhood right there on the Gold Coast of Cape Coral. It's one of the best locations for convenience in the whole city of Cape Coral, in my opinion. Now, we're going to look at distance to open water. We're going to look at bridge heights. We're going to look at flood zones in the area, complete map tour of the Palaco Grande neighborhood. So let's go ahead and jump right in. First off, many people watching this maybe for the first time may not know exactly where the city of Cape Coral is located. Cape Coral is located in southwest Florida. It's going to be just over the Caloosahatchee River from Fort Myers. It's going to be about 50 minutes north of Naples, 2 hours south of Tampa, about 2.5 hours west of Miami, and then you're about 3 hours south of Orlando and the parks, Universal Studios, Disney, SeaWorld, all the fun stuff there in Orlando. It's just about a quick 3-hour drive to get there. All right, here we are in the city of Cape Coral. And as you'll first notice, Cape Coral, you'll see all these blue lines here, and these are all canals. Many of them golf access canals, meaning you can dock your boat right in your own backyard and then navigate out to the open water and the Gulf. So an absolutely incredible opportunity. The city was designed back in the late 50s by the Rosen brothers, and because it was designed as a canal city, they've built so many canals there, over 400 miles of canals, half of which are golf access, that it makes it very affordable because there is a lot of availability still. Now, a lot of that availability is taken up here in the southern part of Cape Coral, but still in the northern part, we still have a lot. But compared to other locations across Florida, if you want waterfront property where you can dock your boat right in your own backyard, you're going to pay substantially more than you would pay in Cape Coral. And it's just mainly, a lot of it has to do with the availability, or how many homes we have available with golf access canals. Now, the big thing to understand is that this city was designed this way, so we do have those canals. Now let's take a look here at this is going to be the Palaco Grande neighborhood right here. One of the first things you're going to notice is the wide canals. We have 200-foot canals here. Some of the canals back a little bit further are going to be about 80 to 90 feet across. We're going to dive into that in just a moment. But let's look at location. So location here is going to be right in the middle. This is the Gold Coast of Florida, the neighborhoods south of Veterans, the Gold Coast of Cape Coral, the neighborhood south of Veterans, and the neighborhood north of the Cape Coral Bridge. Midpoint Bridge, Cape Coral Bridge right here. So if you are going to downtown Fort Myers, easy access to go up to Veterans, across the Midpoint Bridge, and down to the Fort Myers downtown area. You also have easy access down to Fort Myers Beach, which is located right here, just across the Cape Coral Bridge and down McGregor. You also have easy access over to the Southwest Florida International Airport right here, just across the bridges. Depending on the route that you take and the traffic, Google will tell you the best way to get there. But you are close to being able to leave the Cape Coral Peninsula rather quickly if you are working over in Fort Myers, or you do need to go to the airport frequently. It's a great place to be, as opposed to, say, the southwest or the northwest part of Cape Coral, where the drive can be a bit further. All right, other great benefits of the Palaco Grande neighborhood would be close to downtown. Right here's downtown Cape Coral. This is where it all happens. This is where the nightlife's at, the restaurants, all the fun things. We have sports bars, we have Cape Cabaret, which does a lot of concerts there, a lot of cover bands. We have rock and roll bands, we have country bands, we have it all right here in Cape Coral for your enjoyment. We also have a lot of great seafood restaurants, pizza, Mexican. That's one of the restaurants I wanted to point out to you is going to be right here is Monarchas, which is a great Mexican restaurant where you can actually take your boat, traverse your boat through the canal system and be here, or dock it right there rather, and have dinner or lunch there at Monarchas. And that's one of the closest places that you're going to be able to go from the Savona neighborhood, which is going to be right here. Now, another great area that you can go to is going to be right here. It's the Slipaway food truck park, and it's going to be right here. Now, it's an empty spot here, but it has been there for about a year now. So it is well established, lots of great trucks, lots of great food, just a really cool environment, and transient docks the whole way along the canal here. So you can pull your boat right up, dock, and enjoy some great food, music, things like that. Other waterfront dining that you might enjoy if you come across the Caloosahatchee River and you come in here to this blue roofed building. This is going to be the Deep Lagoon restaurant. Great seafood, great environment, great drinks, just a really nice place to sit and relax and look at the water. And soon you're going to have access to the boathouse, which is here at the Yacht Club of Cape Coral, the very southern tip of Cape Coral Southeast. Currently, right now, the only thing open here is going to be the beach. You can go sit on the beach, put your feet in the sand, read a book, and enjoy a great afternoon or a sunset. However, right now, the boathouse is being rebuilt. It did burn down by fire just a couple years ago. They have knocked it down, and they're in the process of rebuilding it, along with the Cape Coral Yacht Club here, which is going to be very impressive once they get it complete. But there have been some challenges there, and we're expecting to have that done in the next few years. And then, of course, other areas that you can take your boat to are going to be over here to Tarpon Point and Cape Harbor. Many great restaurants there in those areas. But today we're going to focus on the Palaco Grande area, which is right here. Other things I'll point out to you as well. It's right off of Del Prado, which is one of the busiest streets in Cape Coral with a lot of commercial, retail, all kinds of great stuff there that you have easy access to right from the Palaco Grande neighborhood. You're going to have this shopping center here. You're going to have the Audi, the Ulta, the Home Goods, the Hobby Lobby, the Burlington. They have a gym there. And then up here's your Publix, your Walmart, your Ross, your TJ Maxx, your Planet Fitness. Tons of restaurants up and down. So just a really great, easy location. If you need to get over to Lowe's, you have your Lowe's right over here, your Target, and another Publix. So this is why I say Palaco Grande is probably one of the most convenient areas to live in Cape Coral. Let's go ahead and jump in and take a look at distance to open water, because this is what's most important. Before you buy, you need to understand exactly how long it's going to take you to get from your dock out to the river or the open water. Because if you don't know, you may find an amazing house on Zillow and you say, wow, this is incredible. But then once you call your realtor, once you call me and we start really doing a deep dive into it, we're going to find out that maybe that house is an hour back in the canal system. And it may matter, it may not matter. Now, if you're planning on going out every day or every week, you definitely want to be within 30 minutes to the open water, probably closer. Now, if you're going out maybe once every 6 months or once a month, then it's probably not going to matter as much if you're sitting back 45 minutes, an hour in the canal system. But just be aware that in Cape Coral, that not all canal homes are equal. And of course, the closer you are to the open water, typically you're going to pay a premium to be purchasing one of those homes. The other thing to understand too is direct and indirect. Direct means you have 0 bridges. It's direct access. You can dock a sailboat, catamaran, a tuller, center console, things like that. Now, if it's a indirect, that means you have to go under a bridge. Most bridges in Cape Coral are going to be anywhere from 8 to 10 feet. So you do have to understand that as well. And you can watch many of my other videos, or definitely contact me and we can go over the bridge heights in that area. If you are thinking about buying, selling, investing, or relocating here, definitely reach out to me. You can click the link right below. Let's start that conversation like many other people that I've worked with have. And you're going to decide real fast if Cape Coral's for you or if maybe it's not quite the best option for you. So let's chat about that. Click the link below or the QR code on the TV screen here in just a few minutes. All right, let's get into distance to open water. Palaco Grande distance to open water. So we're going to look at the different canal systems here and the different ways to get out of the Palaco Grande neighborhood. First up, we're going to look at the actual Palaco Grande Canal, which is this wide 200-foot canal that stretches from Del Prado right here the whole way out to the Caloosahatchee River. And from this point here, it's going to be about 0.8 miles, about 8 minutes to get you out to the open water. Now, here we have the Rainbow Canal, which is just north of the Palaco Grande Canal, and it's going to be about 1 mile or about 10 minutes to go from here on out. Now, these canals here are about 80 to 90 feet across, which is a pretty standard canal in the city of Cape Coral. Anything over 80 feet is going to be considered a little bit long, or a little bit wider. 200-foot canals are extremely desirable, and you do pay a premium to be on these wider canals just because the water views are so incredible. The other thing that you will pay a premium for as well is a home on a corner lot like this here. As you can see, the water frontage is going to be substantial. Your typical water frontage is going to be about 80 feet across. Now these can be upwards of 200 feet. So it can be quite substantial going the whole way around. Now, as you can see here, they build quite large homes on here. And typically what happens is before they had smaller homes on these lots, and then they'll come in, knock down the smaller homes and build these much, much larger homes here. This neighborhood did start to develop back in the 60s and the 70s, and then it has been developed out. You will see some empty lots on here. Typically, those are lots where there were older homes that somebody came in and knocked down, and they're likely going to build a larger home there. As you can see, these smaller homes were typically the original homes, but they will eventually probably be knocked down and new, bigger homes built there over time. So you're always having a neighborhood that's reinventing itself. And that's going to be for just about any neighborhood in Cape Coral where there's easy access to the open water and it's very desirable to be in. One of the things I wanted to show you is because this is direct access, meaning you do not have any bridges, is you're able to dock some amazing boats back here. Look at this guy here. He has 2 boats right here. Each one's about 40 foot. So he's really maximized his ability to have boats in his canal system. Now the rule of thumb here in Cape Coral, or what they tell you that you can do, is you can build your dock about 25% out into the water. So you can do yours 25%, the neighbor can do his 25%, and then that leaves you with about 50% here in the middle for your runs out to the water. The other thing to be aware of too is you can see this here. You have the captain's walk, the entire length of the property. Now you can do captain's walks your entire length of your property, about 4 feet out from land, from your seawall. Now, if you want to put your dock out, like I just said, you can put that out about 25% of the canal width. However, it has to be set back about 12 feet from your neighbor's property. So you can only do the captain's walk the entire width of your property, but the dock itself, you can do that within 12 feet of your neighbor. And here's kind of a good example of what this person did. He did the captain's walk across, but then the dock is stopped short. All right, let's take a look at other canals here in the Palaco Grande neighborhood. We're going to come on down here. This is the Carnation Canal right here. 0.7 miles, about 7 minutes to get you out to open water by way of the Palaco Grande Canal. And we're going to jump into these amazing canals right here. These are 200-foot canals, 200 feet wide across. Absolutely incredible. When you have a home here, you look out your window, all you see is water. So this is the Ryan Canal, and we're looking at about 0.5 miles, 5 minutes to get you out to open water from this canal right here, right and around. Typically, in these 80 to 90 foot wide canals, you're going to be able to see a lot of boats right across the canal, right from your home. A lot of people are a little concerned about that. They say, I won't have much privacy. But actually, you have a lot of privacy there. Typically, you have your dock, your canopy, your neighbor has theirs. And I think it's absolutely amazing just to be able to look up and down your canal and just see boat after boat after boat. It really feels like you live right on a marina. It's a really great feeling to have. All right. And then we have these homes right out here, right on the Caloosahatchee River, which also sell at a premium. If it's a vacant lot or a teardown home, you're going to pay typically $1 million plus for just the property itself, just the land itself. And then whatever you build there, the cost of that. Now, I've seen homes go for sale on these areas close to the Caloosahatchee River, right on the Caloosahatchee River, and they'll sell for $4 million, $5 million, $7 million in those ranges if they're a new built home right there on the Caloosahatchee River. Now, something to be aware of that a lot of people don't think about. You get the wide open water view here, the whole river, and it's spectacular. However, you do get a lot of wind, a lot of chop, a lot of harsh conditions on your seawall. So you do have to keep that in mind. If you're not concerned about that, then that's fine. But if you do want something a little more tranquil, then you'd be better off grabbing something back here on a canal system where it's not open to the open water. That might be a little more beneficial, and you're going to save yourself some money. Now, if you want that absolute larger view, you want the larger lot. I mean, look at these lots. These are absolutely incredible. These are half-acre lots. Some of them are a full acre, actually, but just impressive. And they build these huge homes. So this is one of the reasons that people say Cape Coral is becoming a luxury market, is because people are coming in and building large mansions right on the river. They're just coming in, knocking down the tiny houses that are there, and then building these huge homes right here on the river. Here's an example of one of the smaller homes that's still sitting there, and eventually somebody will come in and buy that, knock it down, and put a huge home there. All right, let's jump back here. We're going to go north. This is Palaco Grande Parkway that goes right down the middle of the neighborhood. So we're going to go here to the Port St. Lucie Canal, just north of Palaco Grande. It's about 1 mile, 10 minutes to get you on out to the open water from there. This large canal here to the north of Palaco Grande is going to be Moody Canal. And it's about 0.7 miles, about 7 minutes to get you on out to the open water. And then Picnic Canal right here. I just sold a home on this canal to a great client of mine. Got a great deal. And he's really excited. He's been taking his boat out quite frequently, and he loves it. He says it's 5 minutes to get on out to the open water. Now, from this point here on the Picnic Canal, it's about 0.6 miles, about 6 minutes to get on out to the open water. And then the last one we're going to look at is the Swan Canal. This is the Swan Canal here, and it's going to take you from this point here. It's about 0.3 miles, about 3 minutes to get on out and around. So the Palaco Grande is just extremely convenient, whether you're taking your boat out, convenience to the river and to the Gulf, and then of course convenience to get wherever you need to by car is one of the huge benefits of the Palaco Grande neighborhood. Now, next up, we're going to talk about bridge heights. So let's go ahead and jump right into that. All right, Palaco Grande bridge heights. Now, from the Palaco Grande neighborhood, you do not have any bridges at all. If you're living in the Palaco Grande, you're docking your boat in the Palaco Grande, everything in that area is completely direct access, meaning there are no bridges. So you can dock some pretty tall boats in that area. A lot of deep water canals as well. Now, I do want to point out, so this is the Palaco Grande area right here, the neighborhood. So as you can see, there are no bridges. Even if you wanted to get back to the other side of Del Prado, you do not have any bridges here. If you did want to go to the other side of Del Prado, I do want to touch on that. Maybe you have family or friends that live back there, and maybe you want to take your boat back there for some reason. There are not going to be any businesses back there, so there's really no reason to go back there. But let's touch on this real quick. Just to the south of the Palaco Grande, you have the Plato Canal, which is this one right here. This bridge is going to be about 9 feet at mean high water. So, and that's the average high tide over the last several years. So just be aware of that if you are going to go back there. And then the other one, the bridge to the north, is going to be 11 feet 2 inches to go under. Here's the Savona or the Palaco Grande neighborhood. Here's the bridge right here. So these are the two bridges here in this area that you would be going under. However, there is no reason to go back there unless you have friends or family. That would be my only thought or suggestion. Maybe you want to do a little bit of fishing back there, but even then it's probably not worth going behind the bridges. But just want to make you aware. So no bridges for the Palaco Grande neighborhood. Let's jump into flood zones, because that's extremely important too. You need to know what your flood zone is in the Palaco Grande area. It is close to the open water, but that doesn't mean that it's all in zone AE, meaning requiring flood insurance. We actually have some homes in the Palaco Grande neighborhood that are in flood zone X500, which means you're not required to have flood insurance if you have a loan, which means they're pretty high and dry type property. So let's go ahead and jump into that right now. All right, let's talk about flood zones and what it's going to be here in the Palaco Grande neighborhood. It's extremely important to understand this. So we're going to zoom in to Palaco Grande. And what you're going to notice is that there's different colors here. There's pink and then there's yellow. Now the pink is going to be zone AE, meaning there's a 1% chance for a substantial flooding event each year. And with that type of zone, if you have a home in that zone and you do have a loan, you are required to have flood insurance. Your lender will require you to have that. Now, even if you're paying cash, you don't have a loan, it's still highly recommended to have flood insurance in these areas. Now, I've talked to a lot of clients and people that have been selling homes in this area, and they told me that during Ian, they were all high and dry. There may have been a few that got a little bit of water in them, but compared to where the very southern part of Cape Coral, this area here did not see the flooding that many other areas saw. So that's a really good sign. Now, as we zoom in, you'll see zone AE, and then we'll have zone X500, which is the yellow. Now, X500 means that there's a 0.2% chance of having a substantial flood each year, a substantial flooding event each year. So as we zoom in, I want to show you something and really point out, you can see these homes are completely inside the yellow box or the yellow lines. Now, if the home, any part of it, like let's take a look at these ones here, is outside the yellow and inside the pink, that means that their lender is going to require flood insurance, because if any part of the home, even a small corner, is in zone AE, the whole structure is required to have flood insurance. So that's something to keep in mind. Now, just because we show you these maps doesn't mean it's 100%. There is a due diligence period. So once we have a home under contract, once we have the inspection done, we go to the insurance company and provide them with the wind mitigation, the 4-point, and then they give us a very accurate price point on what it's going to cost to insure that property. Other things to think about when you are insuring a home, if you are required to have flood insurance or not. If the previous homeowner has a flood insurance policy, more times than not, you can actually transfer that over when you purchase the home and have a substantially lower insurance rate than if you were to go out and completely purchase a new policy. So keep that in mind as well when you're looking at homes in Zone AE. Now, as you can see here, just to point out, this is Zone AE elevation 8 feet. So if somebody was to come in and build a new home here, they would have to build it at a base level or a base height of 9 feet, at least a foot above the flood zone. And that will help with insurance rates, but that's also what's going to be the building code. So make sure that if you are building, that you're following the right guidelines there. And of course, the city of Cape Coral won't let you get away with not doing that. But as you can see, everything out here near the water is going to be pink and Zone AE. So you will be required to have flood insurance if you have a loan. And then as you go a little bit further back, when they built these canals, or when they dredged the canals, put the land up, they actually built these up quite a bit higher back here than other parts of the neighborhood. And then if you're definitely, you say, Barry, I absolutely want to be in Zone 500. If you go across Del Prado to these homes over here, all these homes on the Gulf Access Canal are in X500, meaning they're not required to have flood insurance. Now, these neighborhoods are typically a little bit older, and you do have to look and find the right neighborhood, the right street for you, which fits your lifestyle and what you're looking for, and understand that it is indirect access, meaning there are bridges to go under, or at least one bridge to go under. So back to the Palaco Grande, this area here. So the key to understand is most of it is AE. Also, you want to do your due diligence. During that due diligence period, you want to get your insurance quotes and rates. And if the insurance policy is transferable, that's a huge bonus. You want to make sure you take advantage of that. Now, this concludes our tour of the Palaco Grande neighborhood here in the city of Cape Coral. Hope you found this information extremely helpful. I love this neighborhood. I think the neighborhood here on the Gold Coast is absolutely incredible. And if you are thinking about buying, selling, investing, relocating here in the city of Cape Coral, go and reach out to me. Click that link below like many others have. What you're going to find out is if Cape Coral is for you or if it's absolutely not for you. There's also the QR code right there on the television. You can scan that and go ahead and book your call. It's about a 20 to 30 minute call. We're going to explore different neighborhoods. We're going to explore flood zones. We're going to explore distance to open water. Talk about what it is that you like, because every neighborhood has their own unique aspect to it. And depending on what you want or don't want, we're going to be able to find the right neighborhood for you. I love helping people find their properties, their dream homes here in the city of Cape Coral. It's absolutely incredible. And it gives me an incredible joy to see folks move in to their brand new or resell Gulf Access Canal home here in Cape Coral. It's an absolutely incredible city. I love living here. I love my Gulf Access home. It's absolutely amazing. So go and reach out. Let's chat. Have a great day.